Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Dr. Tony Chopper, and this is part 2 of the review for the Master Grade Freedom from Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny. In this part, we're going to look over how all these individual limbs and accessories work, and see if there's going to be any problems that might occur. So, let's get started. Alright, let's start off with the foot. Now the foot's, or the leg. Leg's relatively cool. We have a bit of inner armor part that actually comes through a little bit, which is awesome. Here is the peg for the waist skirt section. And here we have parts of the leg actually open up a little bit, revealing some inner frame, which is completely bare right here, if you can see. But they tried to mask it a little bit with this inner frame part, or this extra armor part that actually moves and slides, as you can see right here. This part moves independently, and it's also pointed right here. And because of that, we get a nice 180-degree bend right here, which is really cool. And this also allows for a bit of the inner frame piston to show, which is always a cool bonus. The back panel over here actually opens up, revealing more thruster, and this also moves a little bit as well, along with that. These are both individual pieces, so if you want to move them and make them look symmetrical or make it look like they align, you have to actually do that. Now the shin right here, this part, I find that it kind of splits open. Now, I don't know if that's by design, but it happens quite often. The ankle armor is actually attached to the foot, or right here, the inner frame part. So wherever the foot goes, the ankle armor goes. And you get a fair bit of articulation here, going back and forth. And we also get to see some pistons coming through right there. And also more inner frame coming out for the foot. The bottom is all in gray, and we have one piece down here that actually moves, allowing for you to kind of put him into a running pose, or a launching pose if you want. With this kit we also get clear parts, and this is what one of the legs looks like with clear parts. Now articulation is identical, there's nothing different, except this one you can see a little bit more on the inside, or a lot more, and the plastic is a bit flimsier and weaker because it is this see-through plastic. Now let's take a quicker or deeper look into this. There's quite a fair bit of mechanical detail from the inner frame, and that can be showcased if you do go ahead and put the clear parts on. And if you want to go ahead and paint it up a little bit, it'll really pop and bring out the full potential of this leg. Now, since this came from the D-Runner, the D-Runner actually gives us enough clear parts, because it's the entire runner, to do both legs, and the white parts for the rail guns on the hips. So that's quite a good touch. And if you did get it during the campaign time, it would have been the exact same price as well. So, hooray for extras. Now here is the waist section. It's really basic and plain. I chose not to put on the railguns because they're technically weapons. We have movement here for the front skirt. They're individual. The color separation is pretty decent here. They let you have a couple pieces to break up. And over here we have also another moving piece for the back. Right here, it moves back and forward like so. And when you put on the side skirts, or the rail guns, they can move up and down as well right there. The chest is fairly impressive. It gives off a whole bunch of different colors. Everything is molded in color, of course, which is always great. We have this movable part here for the cockpit. All you gotta do is slide it open, and inside you can see a small unpainted Kira Yamato. And also, the joints over here move forward a little bit, like that, and they don't really go up too much because this part over here actually hits the collar. And yeah, pretty solid. Nothing moves around here much, but everything's in color, so that's a very good touch. Alright, so here is the shoulder armor and the arm itself. Now we're going to start with the shoulder armor. Shoulder armor here is, they did a really good job of separating the color. There's only one movable part, and it's right here where the connection part actually happens. This goes into the peg, and then this arm over here slots it in place, making sure that it's wedged in there real tight. Now this red part's really nice, it breaks up the white going on here. And we also have a fair bit of detail inside of this blue part here for a little bit of thruster goodness, I guess. And here is the arm. The arm is quite standard. It's one of the skinnier arms, but that's kind of how, Gundam Seed went about their things. Now, it rotates right below here, 360. This part can go all the way up and down, so a good 90-degree right there, like that, if you put it in. Then we get a almost 180 for the elbow bend. This part over here is where the shield is going to connect into. And we have, these aren't even 2.0 master grade hands, these are old school master grade hands with just the trigger finger, thumb, and 3-finger split, with no peg there to keep anything secure. And this goes 360 and can't really do too much other than wiggle a little bit. Don't hit the face. Well, Ruler Crusade didn't hear about that, so he kind of took it off. Here is his head. It's relatively simple. A lot of the parts for the Vulcans and all the detail on the inside is actually inexistent. Now, some of the newer kits that Bandai's been releasing actually has inner frame, kind of like a gray part where you put inside, so you can actually see the detail coming through. But this is one of the older ones from 2004, so it didn't get the nice royal treatment in that sense. The eyes are a sticker, and there should be a sticker up there, but I think I lost it. They're really, really, really small. And the same type of sticker right on the back as well. Now, they did a really good job of separating most things, though. But if you really want it to stand out and pop, you really need to go and either paint him or panel line him for this guy to actually look a little bit more alive. Now, this is one of the last pieces on the kit. It is the attachment point where you put both the wings on. Now, we get a sticker right here, kind of like a warning sticker, don't shoot this part. Right here, this is all one solid piece, and would have been nice if they actually made it one individual piece here, one individual piece here, and actually had this middle part the same color as the rest of the backpack, like how it's supposed to be. But Bandai got a little bit lazy here and gave us another gray part. So this is all one solid part, and it's kind of disappointing. This just slots straight into the backpack through the polycap right there, and yeah, nothing much going on here. Here is one half of the wing system that this guy has. Now, each part is actually connected together along with this piece right here, which is actually sandwiched in between pretty much 3 different wings. Now, the cool thing about this is you're actually able to separate this completely and the bottom half completely. This small little medium wing right here kind of acts on its own, and it's supposed to turn down. Whereas these two go up, and this part right here is actually supposed to be hidden by it. So it's supposed to spread out like that. Also, we have this part down here, which gives a fair bit of mobility when you shove it into the rest of the backpack. And also the transforming sort of gimmick. So when the guns come over the shoulders, he turns it like this, and like that, and kind of like that. And then, bam, you get to shoot someone. Now, everything here is molded in plastic, which is really nice. But there is one seam line down the middle right here, which is quite nasty. It's right down the middle. Same with pretty much everything else on the the cannon up top. Now we get a nice gray piece right here to break up everything, this nice little vent piece. But that's about it. But it still looks pretty solid in my opinion. Now here is one of the accessories. The side skirt also doubles as your railgun. Now this piece over here, it folds in and out. That's a bit of moving parts right there. This part moves as well. And also the front, and it collapses. Now right here we have this little notch that goes into this hole to make sure it doesn't wobble out too much. Same with the top part with a notch here and a hole there. And it does a decent job of holding its shape. Also, this folds down, like if I haven't said that already. Here is the Freedom Shield. Now this is really, really nice. We have a little bit of inner frame detail going on over here, but it's not quite in the gray that we're accustomed to see on the cover, or the box art. In the front we have a nice piece right here. Everything's molded in color, no stickers here. We have a movable detachable piece. This part right here can go on either side if you choose. And also there's that sight that he can look through, but he never does. This part over here, it's on a bit of a track. Now this part can move several different ways, so you can place it all along here, sideways or this way, so that your freedom can actually hold on to the shield relatively well. Now this part over here, it's like a double-sided sort of piece. It can turn, okay, and it has pegs on both ends. So there's a peg that goes into the shield, and this peg over here actually plugs into either one or two different places on the arm, if you choose to put it. The gray part on the elbow, or the side part of the forearm. Here are the beam sabers, or the handles at least. They're relatively simple. They're just pretty much, they're really solid design. They're only really one piece, and you get two of them. Now these slot into the side skirt where the rail guns are. You just pluck it in there and it stays pretty well. At least I hope it will. And right here, this black part is it's not a piece of plastic, it's actually a sticker. And these tend to actually come off relatively easy. It's actually kind of peeling even if I didn't actually touch it. Also, another cool part, this right here has a groove and some teeth, so you can plug it in with the other one, and you can actually recreate. With a nice little snap, you can recreate him holding it Darth Maul style, charging in to fight Ruler Crusade. And putting in the beams is, you know, simple as always. These beams come with pretty much every Gundam kit you're ever going to get. And voila, there you go. An extremely long beam saber, so you can go and stab someone straight through the cockpit. And the weapon that is quite disappointing on him, and you probably will have to paint if you want it to look extremely well, is the beam rifle. Now, the beam rifle is okay, I guess. The top part is all in white. As you can see, even I have a couple, some problems trying to put on the sticker. It's a massive sticker. It goes from one end all the way to the other end, and they actually make it overlap on both sides. There's two stickers, so one on one side, one on the other, and they overlap right at these 2 points, which makes it really ugly in my opinion. Especially when they didn't make it in a flat matte sort of color. It's actually quite shiny, so it really sticks out. For movable parts, we have this right here. The stock kind of moves back and forth right here, so he can grab it like so if he needs to. We have a clear part right here for the scope. And yeah, as you can see, the barrel looks pretty decent though. So if they actually fixed this part up and gave us a nice blue plastic piece to put here, it would have made this kit so much more amazing. So yeah, too bad. Alright guys, that concludes part 2 of the review for the Master Grade Freedom Gundam. Now be sure to come back in part 3 when we go over this guy in a more in-depth look. We can see how all these different limbs and accessories interact with each other, and hopefully we can get some good dynamic poses. My name is Dr. Tony Chopper, and I will see you guys then. Peace out, guys.